Clint Eastwood was never meant to be ordinary. Born Clint Eastwood Jr. on May 31, 1930, in San Francisco, California, he came into the world during one of the toughest times in American history, the Great Depression. Money was tight, jobs were even harder to come by, and his family moved around constantly as his father searched for work. While most kids had some level of routine, Eastwood learned early that nothing was guaranteed. But it was this unstable childhood that gave him a quiet toughness and strong work ethic that would later define the characters he played and the man he became. After high school, he didn't head straight into Hollywood. Instead, Clint worked a bunch of odd jobs. He was a lifeguard, a grocery clerk, even a lumberjack. But life took a sharp turn when he got drafted into the U.S. Army during the Korean War. It wasn't war that shaped his future. It was what happened on the sidelines. While serving, he started getting interested in acting. And that one interest eventually shifted everything. Most people first saw Clint Eastwood when he played Rowdy Yates on the Western TV show Rawhide. At first, he wasn't even the star, just part of the ensemble cast. But something about his rugged face, tall frame, and calm but intense presence made him stand out. Audiences liked him. They wanted more. And pretty soon, what started as a supporting role turned into a breakout moment. But Rawhide was just the beginning. Clint Eastwood's true rise to worldwide fame came thanks to a man named Sergio Leone, an Italian director with a new idea for westerns. Instead of the clean-cut cowboy heroes America was used to, Leone wanted something edgier, grittier. Eastwood became the face of that vision in the Dollars trilogy. A fistful of dollars for a few dollars more, and the good, the bad, and the ugly. In those films, he played a nameless, cold-blooded silent cowboy who didn't say much but always got things done. That man with no name character became one of the most iconic figures in movie history. And just like that, Clint Eastwood went from being a TV actor to an international star. By the 1970s, Clint was unstoppable. While most actors stuck to one type of role, he kept evolving. That's when he brought out another unforgettable character. Dirty Harry. Playing Harry Callahan, a tough San Francisco cop with his own way of handling criminals, Eastwood gave America something it hadn't seen before. This wasn't a clean-shaven hero who followed all the rules. Harry did what needed to be done, no matter what. The character's blunt attitude and brutal honesty made him both loved and controversial. But one thing was certain. People were watching. While most actors would be happy staying in front of the camera, Clint had other plans. He wanted more control, more say in how stories were told. So, in 1971, he directed his first film, Play Misty for Me. It was a psychological thriller, a risky choice for a first-time director. But it worked. And it marked the beginning of a long and successful directing career that would last for decades. Eastwood didn't just direct action films or westerns. He tackled all kinds of genres, revenge tales like High Plains Drifter, emotional dramas like The Bridges of Madison County, and even war films like Flags of Our Fathers and Letters from Iwo Jima. That last one, by the way, was told from the perspective of Japanese soldiers during World War II. Something no big American director had tried before. But Eastwood didn't care about playing it safe. He cared about telling meaningful stories. His 1992 film Unforgiven changed everything again. It wasn't just another Western. It was a reflection on violence, justice, and regret. The movie won 4 Academy Awards, including Best Picture and Best Director. Critics and fans alike finally admitted what had been obvious for years. Clint Eastwood wasn't just a movie star. He was a serious filmmaker. That reputation was strengthened even more when he released $1 Million Baby in 2004, which also won Best Picture and earned him another Best Director award. So what makes Clint Eastwood's directing style so unique? It's simple, literally. He doesn't believe in wasting time on set. He uses natural lighting, shoots quickly, and usually goes with the first or second take. To some actors, this feels strange. But to Eastwood, it creates the most honest version of the story. He believes people perform best when they aren't overthinking things, and that belief has led to some incredibly raw and powerful performances on screen. But his life wasn't only about movies. In 1986, he surprised everyone by becoming the mayor of Carmel by the Sea, a small coastal town in California. He didn't do it for fame. He was already famous. He did it because he believed in protecting the environment and supporting personal freedom. He only served one term, but it showed a different side of him. A man who cared about his community and wasn't afraid to step into unfamiliar territory if it meant getting things done. Eastwood's personal life, though, has always been more complicated. He married Maggie Johnson in 1953, and they stayed together for over 30 years. But during that time, he had several affairs and fathered children with different women. Some of these relationships were kept quiet for years. Others became public later on, including his relationships with stuntwoman Roxanne Tunis, actress Sandra Locke, flight attendant Jacelyn Reeves, and actress Frances Fisher. In 1996, he married again, this time to Dina Ruiz, a news anchor. They had a daughter together and even appeared in a reality show called Mrs. Eastwood and Company. But even that relationship eventually ended in divorce in 2014. Through all this, Clint remained focused on his work. But even someone as successful as him has regrets. One of the biggest? A 1970 film called Two Mules for Sister Sarah. On paper, it sounded promising, a western with a touch of comedy, co-starring Shirley MacLaine. But behind the scenes, things didn't go smoothly. Eastwood didn't get along well with MacLaine. She had a more theatrical, rehearsed style, while he believed in keeping things simple and real. That clash made filming difficult. He also wasn't happy with the plot twist where MacLaine's character, a nun, turns out to be a prostitute pretending to be holy. To him, it felt forced and unnecessary. Even though the film was directed by Don Siegel, who worked with Eastwood on other projects, the tone just didn't sit right with him. He felt the whole story lacked the grit and honesty that he aimed for in his work. Because of that, Clint Eastwood has refused to rewatch the film. It stands as one of the few projects in his career that he genuinely dislikes. And it marked a period where he realized that if he wanted full creative control, he needed to take the reins himself. That realization led to some of his best work, including High Plains Drifter and The Outlaw Josie Wales, both of which he directed and starred in. Even today, long past the age when most actors retire, Clint Eastwood keeps working. His presence might be quieter now, but his impact is still massive. Young directors study his techniques. Actors admire his calm authority. And audiences, new and old, keep watching his films. Not because they're flashy or filled with special effects, but because they feel real. They're about people. About choices. About what it means to stand your ground, even when everything around you is falling apart. What's fascinating about Clint Eastwood is how he never chased trends. He didn't try to fit into Hollywood's mold. Instead, he built his own path. First as a cowboy, then as a cop, and eventually as one of the most respected filmmakers of all time. His life hasn't been perfect. It's had its share of mistakes and missteps. But maybe that's part of what makes his story so compelling. He didn't try to be polished or perfect. He just kept moving forward. So the next time you hear the name Clint Eastwood, don't just think about the squint, the growl, or the line, "Do you feel lucky?" Think about the man who grew up during hard times, worked every job he could, served his country, changed television, redefined movies, and did it all on his own terms. If you found this story interesting, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and leave a comment sharing your favorite Clint Eastwood movie or moment. There's a lot more where this came from, and we can't wait to bring you more fascinating stories soon. Thanks for watching.